Hi, in this video, you'll discover everything that you'll learn in our Crypto Trading Mastery live training. So in this video, what we'll do is we'll cover this at a high level. Many of you already know me as Escavalis, and I trade cryptos full time. So in the beginning of this, because I've had a lot of interest from people, we'll cover what's in the training. And then at the end of this video, I'll share some background on me. So if you want to know more background on me and how I got started in crypto and everything else, I'll share that at the end. So usually it's kind of backwards. Usually people share that up front. But I've had a lot of interest from people in the training, so I want to get right to that so you can understand exactly the value of that and what's going to be in that. So to start with, let's talk about the goal of this training. I've already trained some friends, associates that I've known. I've trained some other people that I've met along the way. And my goal whenever I work with someone one-on-one, and my goal for this training is to give you the foundation to be a highly successful crypto trader. And what is a highly successful crypto trader? It's someone who can reliably and consistently extract capital from the crypto market and build true wealth in this market as well. Look, that's the only definition that I'm using for this training. That's really the goal. I'm sure you're not doing crypto just so you can stare at computer screens all day, right? You're doing crypto probably because you do believe in the technology maybe, but I bet most of it is because you see it as a wealth opportunity. So to me, the whole point of this training, whenever I work with someone and when I train my friends and everything else, it's, look, the whole goal here is, can you reliably and consistently, that means it happens time and time again, can you extract capital, money, from the crypto market? That's what trading is about. And that is the goal of this training. That's the one single goal. So everything surrounds that. And I liken it to this. So this is a good way to look at it. It doesn't matter where you're at in the training or anything else. The way that I've designed this training is, just imagine that you don't know how to ride a bike. So we're going to start with training wheels, right? And by the end of this training, my goal is that you will be able to participate in the Tour de France. You know, that's the one where you see all the bikers here. And I guess I liken it to this as well. And this is going to sound, I don't know, a little arrogant, I guess. But I wish I had me when I got started. I know that sounds really arrogant, but if I did, the money that I've made in crypto market, I would have 10 times it, if not 20 times it, in the same amount of time. If I had access to me. One of the friends that I've trained is already starting to exceed me. So I've got to step up my game a little bit, but it's just that I wish I had me, and that's the kind of mindset that I'm taking with this training, right? I want to provide you with the foundation that you need to have success in the crypto market now, as it rises, as it peaks, as it falls, and what happens thereafter. That's my goal. So what's all in this training? Let's talk about that. Well, right now it's going to be at least 4 live sessions and guided exercises. And I'll cover each one of these live sessions. You'll understand what's going to be in each component. The other thing is that we'll have a special Discord channel and badges. So, you know, I like Discord a lot. So there'll be a special channel. Your questions will get answered first. As you know, I try to answer everybody's questions anyways, but I'll really strive to ensure that your questions get answered first. And a lot of your questions most likely will be with the training that we're going through and beyond. So that's Discord channel will be there we're in crypto for the long haul. So as long as you're still interested in crypto, you'll be in that special Discord channel. And if we do additional trainings and everything else, it'll be there. So this is really the first training. I don't know if we'll do another one. One of the challenges with this training is that anytime that I take away from trading, it has to be highly worthwhile for me, because I'm really mastered training, and I get better and better every day. The other thing that you'll get access to is our market and quant analysis. This is something I haven't shared much about, but and at the tail end of this video, I'll share more. So you'll get access to some of that information. And I'll share that with the group as well. But with people that go through the training and can really understand the stuff that I'm presenting, you'll get access to that. Also, lifetime access to any indicator we create. I really wish that I could just say that whatever I charge for this training, I'm just going to put in my pocket or trade with. But the true answer is that whatever I make for this, I'm going to work. I've already got developers lined up to build indicators for this market, and you'll get access to those indicators. And I might offer them to the group, but at this point in time, there's indicators that I believe we can build that will allow us to all make more money. So one way to look at this is when you invest in this training, you're also going to be investing in indicators that's going to make you more money, because that's what I'm going to really put these funds towards. So with this training, I'm going to be building a couple indicators, and as with all indicators, I'll do videos and everything else, but these will be indicators that I see a need for that will give us a tremendous edge in the crypto market. So I'm excited about that. The next thing is 2 personal video requests. Now, this is kind of something interesting I thought I'd include, which is basically, look, if you do the training, you can request 2 videos for me, and I'll post those on YouTube. So these can be about anything. Let's say, and it could be something like, let's say that you really like Tron, for instance, TRX, and you'd like me to do a full technical analysis on Tron and share the video and everything else. So I will do a full technical analysis based on my style of technical analysis, and I'll put it up there. It could be really any video that you feel that maybe you need help on, or you might need expansive knowledge on, anything that you think I could help. I will do a video, and it might be 10 minutes long, and some of the videos it might be 45 minutes long. So I'll always strive to ensure that it's full and complete. So you'll get 2 personal video requests. Every person that goes through this will get 2 personal, means that you can request these. And I'm sure with the group, if we get enough people, maybe people will get together and figure out ways to actually game that and get more videos, because they'll request the same thing. I don't know. Who knows how this works? Anyways, that's something I thought I would offer, because a lot of times I do get people asking me questions, and I think that would be something that you could get your specific question answered. So I already said that. I do like to over-deliver, so I'm sure there'll be more. I'll be adding more. I don't know what more, because as this moves on, I'm sure there'll be more stuff, but I like to over-deliver. We're in the crypto market for the full term, so you're starting kind of on the ground floor with us here, so I'll be over-delivering. I just can't. I don't know where that's going to go. I just know that we're in for the long haul, and once you understand some of the background, you understand why. So let's talk about how this training will work, okay? So the way this training will be is it'll 60 minutes live. It'll be a screen share, okay? The recordings will be available. So if you can't make it live, you can request questions in advance, okay? So the first part will be a guided back and forth presentation, where basically I'll go over presentation. But when I say back and forth, this isn't just me talking. A lot of this, it really will come down to interaction with everybody that's there. So really that's the key. So I want to make sure that everybody gets this information, and that they're able to absorb it. That's the key for this training, okay? It's not just to sit back and listen to me drone on about concepts. No, this is for you to absorb this information in the quickest time possible. It will also end with a Q&A that will only be on that presentation. So it won't be questions about what do you think about Ripple or something. It'll be specifically, here's what we covered in this presentation. Now, what questions or what answers can we provide on the presentation material? Okay. Exercises will be given. That's the nice way to say homework, but let's say exercise is what I mean by that. And you'll see here in each training that you can choose not to do these, but you will exponentially grow your trading skills if you do the exercises that we outline and that we provide. So that's why really when we say, hey, this is an exercise, you should do this, there's a reason for that. And I'll go into more detail in the individual sections here. So all sessions will be recorded. Okay, that's another thing. Let's talk about session 1. Session 1 will be foundation. First up, we'll cover a high-level overview of success in crypto trading, how to structure your portfolio. These two things alone are worth whatever I charge for this training. And this is going to be a little bit different than a lot of training maybe you've gone through. If you have, is that a lot of times the training they leave the good stuff towards the end, right? This is the good stuff at the beginning, because I know a lot of people are trading right now. A lot of people are actively trading or trying to trade. Well, I can exponentially help you immediately by sharing you these two things, and these two things are actually are the foundation of everything we'll cover. But these two things are valuable, are worth the value itself outside of everything else we're going to cover in this training and everything else I'm offering here. So that's why I want to cover it first, and that's why we're going to go into that first. And I think once you see it, your light bulb will go off and the world will open up. It's kind of the way to look at it. So we'll also cover how to think and act like a trader, fundamentals of turning yourself into a successful trader, the simple and easy method to ensure you can trade like a pro, and the exercises will be how to figure out what type of trader you are. And let me talk about this for a second. Look, this training is designed, it's not designed for anybody in particular. It's not designed if you can trade full time, if you have a job. In fact, if you have a job, you have a family, if you have all this stuff, this training is designed to analyze whoever you are and build a successful trader. So I'm not trying to make you a trader like me. I'm not trying to make you trade like me. This training is designed to give you the steps and help you in the quickest time possible figure out how you can be a successful trader. It's not about me. It's not about my trading style. It's not about my technical analysis. None of that. It's about you. It's about defining all this stuff for you. That's what this training is about. Okay? So that's something to keep in mind. Everything, all the exercises, everything in here is not about how to trade like me. It's about how to trade like you. It's kind of like the teach a man to fish or teach a man to cook fish. I don't know what that saying is, but basically I want to teach you how to fish, right? Whatever that saying is, I want to teach you how to fish. That's the key. Session, we'll also talk about how to plan and structure your trading accordingly. So basically what that is what I just said. Look, everybody here listening has a different life, different time, different capital, and you need to understand, if you don't already, how to plan that in a highly effective manner to be able to be a successful crypto trader. Really the goal of what we talked about in the beginning. So what's in session 2? Session 2 will cover market, technical analysis, charts, and indicators. We'll talk about how to view this market, understanding technical analysis and how to learn any technical analysis in the quickest time possible. The single best indicator to use right now, I'll share with you that. A surefire way to read this market, so I'll share with you how you can devise a way to read this market in a way that is reliable for you. Remember, this isn't about me. It isn't about how I trade. It isn't about that. It's about you. It's about developing you as a trader. That's the key. Secrets to charting. So we'll cover secrets to charting. Really, this part 2, I think, is another eye-opening experience once you see this, because I've covered some of this in my videos, but I'll be talking about some of this in a lot more very concise and detailed manner that will open up your eyes even more. We'll also talk about secrets to indicators. So I do use indicators, but there's also ways that you can learn indicators. So I'll share with you some ways that you can actually look at indicators and how you can learn the quickest ways that to judge an indicator, to understand an indicator, to maybe even see if an indicator is worth your time learning. So we'll talk about that as well. Exercises is creating your own TA wheelhouse that works for you. Once again, I'll go back. This isn't about me teaching you how to trade like me. It's about me teaching you how to build your own wheelhouse of technical analysis so that You're not relying on someone's report and they're wrong and, oh, they're saying the market's going to tank and then you just missed out on making 8%, right? Because look, when you did your technical analysis, you trusted your technical analysis, you entered a trade, and the probability was on your side, and basically you made that 8%, as opposed to buying someone's report and waiting for 2 or 3 days for some kind of market action to happen that never came. Look, this is about you building your own technical analysis. So that's the goal of this training. Session 3 is trading skills. We'll talk about entries. We'll talk about exits. We'll talk about taking profits, positions, stop losses. And in the exercises, we'll be creating a system that's unique to you for all the above. Basically, how do you decide what you're comfortable with for entries? How do you decide what you're comfortable for exits? How do you take profits based on your trading style? What about positions? How should you do your position sizes? Stop losses. Should you use stop losses? Or what, if you do, what do they look like? So we'll cover all that. That's basically in the trading skills. So all of this is kind of like the mechanics of doing the trade, right? If you can think about it, session 2 was about how do you analyze the market, the trades. Now you're entering a trade. What do you do? How do you do that? How do you take profits? How do you position? How do you stop out if you're in a bad trade, etc.? So we'll cover that in session 3. Now session 4 is advanced strategies. Okay, so by now you've really grown as a trader. And these advanced strategies will cover advanced trading, we'll cover alpha and beta, portfolio management, advanced trading mindset. Now, this might change a little bit too, because by this time we'll be 3 sessions in, and I'll have a feel for maybe where there might be holes in knowledge, and there might be more questions about certain things. So in this session 4, we'll cover some things maybe where people are having challenges, or maybe there's things that just aren't clear on everything we've covered so far. And we'll still get into this advanced stuff. So if you don't know what alpha and beta is and you don't know what that is, that's fine. You don't need to know. We'll cover it. But these are some advanced strategies that once we've covered everything else before, this will all be clear. And then we will, if there's things that aren't clear, we'll cover that. So let's talk about when is this going to get started. So I'm planning to start in 1 week. And I should mention, this also will be 0.07 BTC. So that will be the cost. And it includes everything I've covered here. When I say it'll start in 1 week and a time that the group can agree, I should mention, and I don't know if this is the right way to say this, but this is only worthwhile for me if we can get probably 8 to 10 people at a minimum. At a minimum, then it's worth my time, because otherwise I can spend my time focused on trading and I can make that capital in trading. So for me, this is really worthwhile for 8 to 10 people to sign up. I don't know if I'm able to, I don't know if enough people are going to actually take me up on this offer. I hope I've provided enough value thus far that people see the value in what I provided and say that this is exactly what they need. One thing I will say is that, so when I say it starts in 1 week, I'll figure out a way for everybody that signs up as a group to figure out on the best time to start. Because I know we're going into some spring breaks and stuff like that. So it won't be too long, but maybe it might be 2 weeks, or maybe it might be sooner. And I intentionally said sessions and not week by week, because as a group, we might decide that, hey, we want to go through this thing in 2 weeks, right? As a group, we might say, hey, we really need a month, right? And it's not a democracy, but I will be talking to everybody in the group and figure out, okay, what's the best time frame, and find a happy medium, okay? So that's how it works. If you're interested to get started, there'll be a link in this description or where I shared this on how to get in touch and get the address to get started to send the 0.07 BTC. Now, obviously, if Bitcoin dips, you're going to get a good deal. If it rises, of course, you're not going to get as good of a deal. One of the other things I will mention, if you're interested in private coaching, meaning that you meet with me once a week and we do something along those lines, we can also add that to this. But you have to contact me individually. We'll talk about it. I just want to make sure it's a fit. for both of us really is the key. But that would be an additional cost, and then that would include going through this training, but also it would include a weekly meeting with me. And it would also include portfolio analysis and some other things. So if that's something of interest to you, it will be more cost, but I would also require you go through the training first, and then we start meeting, because then you'll have a knowledge base that we can exponentially grow from there. So if you're interested in that, that's also something we'll offer. So I look forward to really seeing you in the training. Once again, to get started, there will be a link, or just get in contact with me on the Discord group chat, and I will send you how to get started. Now from there, and that's actually a good place to kind of get started on my story. This crypto trading for me is not new, but and the way that I'm doing this training for me is it's different than what I typically do in my business. So for a little bit of background on me, and I'll share how I got into crypto and everything else, is that at 18, I joined the Army. I was going in a wrong path in life, and I joined the Army. It was great. Sent me overseas. Actually lived in Italy, and then I came back in the middle of kind of the .com era, right? Not the middle, but towards the tail end of the .com era. And I actually got a job at a .com that was about to go public, and they were a couple weeks from going public, and the market basically stopped. It just started crashing. Just capital was just going away, right? So that's one of the first bubbles that I experienced, and then I'll get back to this here in a second. But that really taught me a lot. I didn't have enough knowledge or understanding about business and other stuff to make money during that time. I did make some good money consulting and doing other stuff. I just didn't capitalize and build true wealth like I could have. The other thing is that I became a technical consultant from there. So I started working for places like Wells Fargo, US Bank, United Health Group, leading technical teams. So basically I would hire technical teams to build stuff. And so for instance, I built the Wells Fargo mortgage engine, for instance. And that actually got me introduced to real estate. And in my local area, I started one of the biggest property management companies and investment companies in my local area. And so I kind of transitioned from .com to technical consultant to I learned a little about real estate, and then I started getting involved in real estate, and we started acquiring stuff, and then we started doing property management and everything else, right? That was the second bubble that I was involved in. And that one actually, I just recently, till 3 or 4 years ago, recovered from that real estate bubble. And this will lead into where we're at too. What I didn't really understand at that point in time is how to make money on the upswing, how to make money on the crash, and how to make money beyond, right? If I would have been able to strategically look outside of the market, look outside of myself, I would have saw that and been able to build tremendous wealth during all phases of that. I just didn't have the skill, and you live and learn, right? So after that, though, I built a branding and consulting business, and basically helping people with branding and consulting, and business development. And along the lines, we built a business. So I should mention too, I have a development background. So through all this, I've also been a developer. So I've developed on my own, and I've taught myself programming and everything else. And right now I currently own a SaaS business, a software as a service business. And when I got started in crypto, I pretty much put that on autopilot. It was kind of already on autopilot, but I put it on more autopilot to focus full time on crypto. And let me kind of share how I got involved in crypto. So I have a friend, and he's a younger friend than me. I don't remember where we met, but we met somewhere. And I remember after about a year and a half of knowing him, he asked if he could come over one Friday evening. And I don't quite know exactly how this happened, but one Friday evening, actually just asked if he could come over, and he didn't say when. He just said, can he come over? And one Friday evening, around 8:30, the doorbell rang, and I showed up, and it was him. and he had like a bag and some stuff. And I think maybe we talked about staying over or whatever. I don't know what happened, but all I know is that he ended up staying at our house for about 4 to 6 months or so. We had a spare room. My wife is fine with it. She comes from a large family, so she's used to having a lot of people in the house and stuff like that. So this was like not unusual, and he just ended up staying. So that's literally what happened. It was kind of strange, but we never really talked about it. We never really discussed it. I was just kind of happy to have him around. But during this time, this is how I got introduced to crypto, actually, because he's kind of one of those, I won't say hippie types, and not the kind of like conspiracy type, but he's one of those types of people that, he's the true crypto guy that you meet. That's like, screw the government, screw fiat, all this other stuff, right? And when he was talking about this Bitcoin stuff and all this other stuff, I just thought I didn't know what he was talking about. Now I'm technical. I understand technical stuff. And I wish he would have, we still chide him today. If you would have only explained this stuff in a way that would have made sense and had me look at it, I would have saw the potential within like 2 minutes, and I would have been hooked and I would have been in. But for me, that took a couple years. So he's in this early. He's part of our group here. And he's what you would consider a whale, because from the beginning or from the early on, he's been acquiring Bitcoin. He's been acquiring crypto. He's been trading cryptos. He's diversified. And so he's been in this market. So a lot of times you'll hear me say things about this market or about the history of this market, and you wonder, how do I know that? I know that because I'm closely aligned and friends with someone that has been in this market and has seen this market. Has been a participant in this market, not since day one, but very early on. So, and he believes in this stuff. He's a true holder. To his core, he believes in this stuff. He always has. So that's one of with the training, you're getting kind of access to that knowledge as well. Someone that's been here from the get-go and that has seen these cycles and that understands this, and a lot of times strategically it helps us a tremendous amount. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, when it clicked for me is, I'd say in last year, so it's 2018, the middle of last year, I watched a video on the blockchain. And when I watched a video on the blockchain, like finally everything my friend told me or was talking about clicked for me, and I saw immediately the business application of what this market was. And then I started learning about the market, and then I started really diving in. And one of the things I will say about me is that I'm built to be a trader. I've started businesses, I've done other stuff, but I'm built to be a trader. My personality style, the way I am, I'm just built to analyze markets and analyze numbers, and not so much like a super quant type person, but I'm built to be a trader. I believe anybody could be built to be a trader because you find a trading style that works for you. But I believe a lot of times in my business, I was fighting the fact that I should have just been trading. I should have just mastered the art of trading. So, and that's why I started full time, honestly. I saw the potential. I started testing. I saw the potential of this. And it goes back to kind of, like I said before, I was in bubbles, or I've experienced 2 bubbles. And I believe this is either it's in a bubble or it's headed for a bubble, but the same things are going to happen, is that you're going to be able to make money on the upside. You're going to make money while it crashes, and you're going to make money on the other side. And it's just being a market participant in all of those and seeing the opportunities and managing your risk. So I told myself when I saw crypto and when I saw where it's at, that I'm going to take the knowledge that I had from these previous these previous bubbles and these previous market cycles, and I'm going to apply that to this market cycle, and I'm going to build more wealth than I have right now, tremendous wealth. It's my goal to build tremendous wealth in this market. So I'm already on the path, and this is a long-term play for us. We're talking 2 to 5 years. if not beyond. So, and there's diversification in this as well. So there's a lot of things at play here. So this is something serious for me. This isn't something I'm just dabbling with. I'm just playing around with. I'm just like doing for fun. Yeah, I enjoy it. I mean, I've always enjoyed what I do. I'm that type of person. But this is serious. This is something that for us, there's real capital at play. We're not playing around. We're having fun, but we're not playing around. So I can't state that enough. What I've made, I get this asked a lot. I'm never going to share that. It's no one's business. But put it this way. I was able to turn one Bitcoin or $1,000 into one Bitcoin within 2 weeks when it was around $17,000. So you could say it was a little easier at that time, but not a little easier. I don't know. Yeah, the more you learn to trade, the more you learn, you develop as a trader, the more that you realize, geez, if I only knew what I knew then, that $1,000 would have been 4 Bitcoin, right? So I won't share what I made or what I trade, but this is also why this training is a little, I've had to convince the partners here that, look, this training is worthwhile, because the other thing I will share is that I have to build traders. I want to build traders trained by me. And that's all I'll say about that. So I've got to build traders. So next, when I say who or we, who is we, right? We've basically started a trading fund is the way to look at it. And it's the whale I mentioned. It's a previous business partner, a current business partner, I should say. And there's other people involved as well when I say we. So when I say we, I like to think of we because it's not just me taking these positions all the time. It's we, right? So there is a we here, and this we that I talk about will grow. And why am I not sharing exactly? Well, maybe because I don't have permission to share who the we is. First up, as we move forward, I'm sure we'll start sharing more and more who the we is. But at this point in time, with crypto and everything else, we're just we're being very cautious about a lot of things that we do. Just until there's full custodianship on a lot of this stuff, we're just being very cautious. So if you know what custodianship is and everything else, then you'll understand what that means. So when I say we, there's the core people are really the who you would consider a whale, the guy that's been in from the beginning, and my business partner is kind of the core. And then we have technical analysis and other stuff, and I might bring in an assistant to help with some of these things as well. So there's more than just me. That's what I should say. So really, that's the end of the presentation. I don't know how much more I can add. I don't want to make this too long, because I know everybody's time is valuable. But once again, my goal with this training is to build the foundation of successful traders who can reliably and successfully pull capital from this market. That's what it's about. So if that interests you, if that sounds like something you want to be able to do, it's real simple. Just you'll see a link down below, most likely to the Discord group. Get in there and say, how do I get started with the training? I'll send you a direct message on how to get started, and then we'll go from there. And really, I look forward to seeing you in the training, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video that I release.